echo, so apologies for that. This should be all good. Hello and welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. We are back today with Green, White, Black Maverick. This is the same list that we took through on Wednesday night. So I didn't want to make any changes just to try to get some consistency around how we actually perform with the deck. I'm a pretty big fan of it right now. I really like the Sylvan Safekeeper in the main deck over something like Fourth Mother of Runes. I like Sylvan Safekeeper because it's protection you can find with Green Sun Zenith, which is really cool. Hopefully this is actually... Let me just double check that this is actually working. Yeah, cool. There we go. Apologies for that. So Sylvan Safekeeper is really nice because it is protection we can find with Green Suns. It's protection we can use right away as well. We don't have to wait for Mother of Runes to untap. And also it can just win the game out of nowhere if your opponent doesn't think that we can just sack all our lands to another Reliquary and swing for lethal. So that's pretty nice. Other than that, Hexdrink has been pretty nice in the deck. It's a nice mana sink to have. It's also nice to have just a cheap beater in the deck that we can grab with Green Sun Zenith. Giving a protection from instants is pretty good against a lot of decks right now. It can be tricky against the Swords to Plowshares decks without something like Sylvan Safekeeper or Mother of Runes out, but Hexdrinker I think has definitely performed well so far. Collector Ouphe is really nice just to have in the 60 because we don't run a Stoneforge Mystic package. The only thing this does have a little bit of dissynergy with is Tireless Tracker and Clues because they are artifacts that we want to activate. But outside of that, Collector Ouphe's been really nice. When Breach was around, it was actually kind of better than Gaddock Teeg to go and fetch up if we weren't already playing something like Dryad Militant in the main deck. So there's not too much else to talk about. The sideboard's still a little bit meh, but we'll see how we go. Yeah, Achilles always performs. I'm actually writing the Maverick Monthly for February right now. And I think he has maybe 3 5-0s and then 2 4-1s in a prelim, all with the same deck, which is very cool. So Achilles definitely knows what he's doing, which is very cool. But yeah, I do really like the older style lists with things like Ramanap. I'm not running Ramanap in this list. I have kind of changed it up for Tireless Tracker as my 3-drop. But one reason I didn't like Bog was that I felt like we really wanted the Graveyard Hate as early interaction. And in a deck like this, the earliest you're getting it out is that if you have a turn 1 Noble Hierarch, turn 2 Knight of the Reliquary, and then turn 3 you have Bog online. I do like the list that I've picked up on crop rotation in the sideboard. That's pretty sweet. All lists with something like Elvish Reclaimer, it's a little bit faster. Beast has been phenomenal. And as for Giver and Mother, I think that's more a metagame choice, and I'm not too sure of the metagame right now. I think Giver definitely has its pluses. It's great against Plague Engineer, it's great against Eldrazi, it's great against a lot of equipment like Jide. It can protect your Dryad Arbors from Wasteland, if that's something that you're worried about. That's very cool. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that when a legendary creature becomes elked, it's still a legendary creature you can return with Karakas. So you can reset something like a Thalia or a Gaddock Teeg, which is pretty funny. But yeah, Elspeth is really nice. I really like Elspeth because she still puts bodies on the board. They're not humans, which is relevant because then Plague Engineer has to go off board and say Soldier if they want to stop Elspeth. And it can just give you the win, which is really nice. Yeah, let's get straight into a league. I was pretty happy with the board. I still think there's a lot of work to do to see where we actually want to be with how much for Graveyard, how much for Combo, how much for the fair decks, and if Force of Vigor is still the kind of echo of choice. Shadow Spear seems sweet. Shadow Spear I really want to try out in a green-white version with the Stoneforge Mystic build, and then play Shadow Spear over Batterskull, because there are times when Batterskull is just a little bit dead if your Stoneforge Mystic does get taken out. And the ability to give it a 10-10 or 12-12 Knight trample is really good, especially against the young Pyromancer decks, Trinem decks, anything that has small defenses that you just want to try to trample over. Shadow Spear seems great, and the lifelink definitely is relevant for the games you want to race, which is good. So I think Shadow Spear might even be better than Batterscale against something like Blue-Red Delver, but it definitely, you know, Brazen Burrow is a whole new card, so that's always a pretty iffy one to play around as well. Let's go. Played against some pretty cool decks on Wednesday. I believe we went 3-2, going down to Thassa's Oracle, like a combo deck, and also Miracles, which is pretty tough. But some pretty sweet games throughout the leagues, which you can find on my YouTube channel, which I'll definitely link in the description as well. Lifelink is gross. I think people underestimate Lifelink in Legacy and how much even just gaining one turn can do. Especially against Delver, it's always that one turn you just need to untap and maybe sword something or get an equipment online or just get rid of that one threat they have, because that can be pretty tough. Sometimes it really comes down to, I shouldn't have fetched that, you know, on turn 2 because then I could have been at 4 instead of 3, or you know, I should have maybe not been so aggressive with Sylvan Library and just kept 4. Yeah, the new red green 1 god, the 3-drop Klotz. I'm gonna butcher the name, but it seems really good, especially in that regard of just being able to gain a bit of life, be a really hard threat for your opponent to remove. I think Council's Judgment is maybe the only main deck kind of answer that most decks have outside of maybe Brazen. I guess Brazen Borrower can bounce it, but to actually get it off the board, it's quite hard for anyone to do in game 1, which is really nice. It definitely seems like it's kind of delayed Deathrite Shaman, which is cool. Alright. Off we go. Bob's Bread. This hand is pretty sweet. So we have a good amount of removal in Swords Plowshares. We have a good amount of mana in Birds of Paradise and Noble Hierarch. And then Green Suns is really the key. This hand will be pretty awful against the Thoughtseize, because it kind of leaves off with a little bit of nothing, but I think because of the Green Suns, it's really nice. It allows us to go for something like Gaddock Teeg against combo. It allows us to go for something like Hex Drinker or Knight against some of the fair decks, so I'm happy to keep this. Okay, well, against Chalice as well, it's pretty rough, but definitely not game over. Another Swords is pretty rough. Not really where we want to be. We can't even Green Suns for 0 here, so we'll just pass back. Chalice into Thought Knot is pretty good. I think we still have outs here. I'm not just going to concede to a Chalice and a Thought Knot. They're most likely just take the Green Suns here. No Smash is really nice as well. It gives us a little bit of time. But I'm really looking to draw into Green Suns or... Okay, Khan's pretty good. Wonder what they get. Microsynth Lattice, okay. Verdant. Maybe this is just too slow. Especially because the best we can do is get Dryad Arbor. But that doesn't really do anything when they have a Thought Knot Seer. Rough. Definitely not a bad matchup either. I think here at us like Force of Vigor. I don't mind Reclamation. I like Vraska. I like taking out Thalia. I don't mind Gaddock Teeg, especially seeing the Khan package here. I could see Mums coming out, of course. Thoughtseize is interesting, but I don't think it's where we want to be. Thalia First Strike can be relevant, but if this is a Khan version, it's most likely going to be like a... probably not an aggressive deck with Endless One and Eldrazi Mimic. It definitely could be. Maybe Thalia is okay. It's not the greatest for disruption, but it is okay at actually just being a first strike blocker. Thoughtseize is interesting on the play. Thoughtseize is nice as well because it gives us some information about how we should use Green Suns. So say we Thoughtseize and take a Thought Not Seer but see an Auror's Dust, it means we might want to go for Gaddock Teeg. Or if we see some sort of equipment, then we might want to go for Qasali Pridemage. I might even go for Thoughtseize over Thalia here. I think everything else is pretty fine. Scooze is a little meh, but it does allow us to get back it sometimes. TK Tech, a huge thank you for the sub. 11 months is very cool. 11 months is sweet. I think 12 gets you the new badge, which is cool, but I do like the badge you have so far. I think Thoughtseize is fine. I think we'll see how this goes and then run it back. I don't mind this hand. The only thing this is weak to is something like Sorcerer's Spyglass on Wasteland. But I think this is okay. Even just to have 4/4 Knights is pretty nice. We're definitely relying on the Knights here, but I think it's going to be fine. I think I'm just going to get... do I want to fetch here? I don't think I do, because I don't know what I actually want so fast. So... yeah, the Swords is really nice as well, because it means that if they do have any sort of early cards, like an Endless one, then it's going to be okay. Engineer's nice. So I could Wasteland again, or I could keep the Wasteland for an actual soul land like Ancient Tomb. If I play Verdant Catacombs here, I guess we can even play Wasteland and see what they do. Because worst case, they Thought Not Seer. That's probably worst case. And then we just get to cast a Knight next turn anyway, because they can take one but not both. So I'm going to go with Wasteland, and then we can also hold up Swords. Stopping 4 mana is definitely a big thing. Glimmer Post, okay. Well then I definitely kind of want to keep this Wasteland around for something like... Cloud Post. But yeah, 4 mana is kind of the sweet spot for Eldrazi. But I think there, because we had double Knight, we were pretty happy even to see something like a Thought Not Seer. They kind of have to take the second Knight here. They take the Swords. Interesting. So now we get to play a second Knight and also double Wasteland them. Haha! Triple Wasteland them! Can we? No, we can't, because we need the second Knight here. Interesting. I think just second Knight and double Wasteland is fine. Do I care about the Glimmer Posts? I think just getting these big is pretty fine. I'm going to sack the Scrubland because we have the Savannah. I kind of want to keep this last Wasteland for something else though. But I think as well, just trying to neuter them as much on mana right now is pretty nice. Especially when we have two Knights out at pretty big. Yeah, I think it is just Cloud Post, but I think hopefully they won't have enough time to actually put anything together. And this one Wasteland should be the last kind of straw. So although we could save these and be a little bit safer, and not just hit a Glimmer Post, which kind of isn't really relevant, I think that, yeah, keeping them for Cloud Post is pretty nice. It's just great for us because Cloud Post does come in tapped, so it does give us an extra kind of turn to set up. I think I'm pretty happy just running back the same list. The Thoughtseizes are interesting. I think I'm pretty happy seeing Thoughtseize in here with the Cloud Post version. Even though they play Chalice, I think we have enough answers for Chalice post board in Abrupt Decay, Force of Vigor, and Qasali Pridemage. And then also Reclamation's pretty nice. I think I'm happy just to run this back. If they do start with a Chalice start, hopefully we have the Force of Vigor ready, because a lot of our fast starts are kind of based on that Chalice. So this hand is nice. The only issue is if they go Chalice into Thought-Knot, they have the time to take the Abrupt Decay, which is a perfect answer for Chalice. But I think I'm happy to take that risk. Because otherwise we just get a turn 2 Green Sun Zenith. Or turn 2 Night through Green Sun Zenith. Okay. Bayou. Hey, Try Hard Trong. Hey, Javik87, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Scary. Now they have 4 mana. Khan. Khan's gonna be fine. We'll see what they go and get. Liquid metal coating, okay. From Argentina, very cool. So I'm wondering if I need to get Dryad Arbor here and go after the Khan. I don't think I do. Liquid metal coating is a 3-drop. So it will take some time to get online unless they have another soul land. I think I'm happy just not getting a creature here. I guess Dryad Arbor is a pretty poor draw. So maybe I do want to get it out of the deck here. I think Liquid Metal is a 3-drop. Let me have a quick check. Liquid. I hope it's one word. Ah, it is a 2-drop. Okay, interesting. I think we just have to try to play around it a little bit. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold up Abrupt Decay here. Interesting. Let's fetch here. I think I'm gonna take care of the... Maybe I'll take care of the little liquid metal coating here, because at least the Green Suns can go and get Qasali Pridemage later on. So I can untap and play the Chalice, which I think I'm okay with. I just don't want this to be around for any longer. And this is only till end of turn, so I get it back in my turn, which is nice. So I think deviating away from the Chalice there is okay. Okay, well, with the Khan it works, I guess. Wasteland, interesting. Maybe here I just want a Green Suns. So if I use Green Suns here to build up my mana, I do lose the opportunity to go for Qasali Pridemage later on, unless I draw another Green Suns or Qasali. I also have the option for Green Suns for Hex Drinker, which is interesting. Because on the following turn, if I have nothing else, I can just play Wasteland and tick it up to 4. I kind of like Green Suns here for Noble Hierarch, because then next turn, we can play the Knight and Wasteland. Ballista's going to be fine. I wonder if they trade here. That's okay. Because now we have Knight, which is pretty nice. Oh, and Force of Vigor? Interesting. We can keep the Force for now, and probably the Noble Hierarch. So let's go for Knight. Now if they play something like Voltaic Key or another effect to try to untap this Grim Monolith, we can take care of it pretty well. What's this going to be? You're new to Legacy? Just finished Bant Miracles. Very cool. Bant Miracles looks really fun. Golos. Interesting. Okay, well that's a pretty great target to hit. So now we can hit Golos and Chalice with Force of Vigor, and then also kill the Khan. Wow, okay, so we can hit Golos and Chalice, double... Oh, we can Wasteland at least once. Alright. Go to the end step. Cast on Golos and Chalice. Exile Noble Hierarch. Can we draw a Wasteland? That'd be pretty nice. Green Suns. Okay, so we can Green Suns for Scryb Ranger. I believe Scryb Ranger's still in the deck, which is pretty sweet. But that does tap our Wasteland, unless we use Scryb Ranger first. Tough spot. I think we definitely take care of the Khan, and then we just take out a Cloud Post. This is interesting. Hey, Reap Le Cheap. Thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what you play in Legacy. I think we definitely take care of the Khan. I think we definitely Wasteland here on a Cloud Post. And then I think we just Green Suns for something like Birds of Paradise, so we can actually get something out next turn. Could also go for Arbor because it is a land we can sack to the Knight, but I think right now I'm happy just getting birds and taking them off a Cloud Post. But yeah, trying to keep them off Ulamog is the big one. Oof. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Khan. Okay. Bridge is pretty good. They have 1 card in hand. Okay. Play Tracker. Take out a post, I guess? I could also get Cradle, but I think, yeah, I just want to get a Wasteland and take them off their Cloud Post. Get a Clue, which is nice. I could have gotten a Giant Cooler Pride. That's very cool. That's the 3-drop one that puts counters on creatures. Also gives flying, I believe. We have a few good draws, which is nice. Windswept Heath actually isn't the worst. Because now we get another clue. Interesting. Float a white. Crack this. I'm gonna go for Cradle. Tap for 4. Ah, I can't activate them, of course. Of course. Rough. Did not think of that. I should have read the card. I should have read the card. Rough. Okay. Rough. Yeah, that's a big misplay. I guess it turns on Green Sun's next turn if we can draw into it, but otherwise it's looking pretty bad. I think that's just game, sadly, because Force of Vigor doesn't even work. We have to Force of Vigor on the stack. Rough. I think that is just death, unfortunately. Yeah, I haven't got green cards anymore for Force, that's correct. And I guess I can just go and get Plague Engineer, perhaps. Or Walking Blister, and then just Ballist me to death. Rough. Not the start I want, especially against that deck. I think it's a pretty good matchup. Having an extra Wasteland there would have been really nice, instead of going for the Cradle. Because, of course, we can't even use the clues, so... I think it's definitely a different game if we don't go for Cradle there, go for Wasteland, and maybe buy another turn to try to draw into Green Sun Zenith. Rough. That's a Saturday morning play. I apologize. That is yeah, that's not good. Rough. Hope you're all doing well though. I'm sure it's for most of you it'll be Friday night. Saturday morning here in Australia, which is kind of nice. It's always good to stream in the mornings. It's a nice way to start the day. Yeah, can't crack clues. Can't crack clues. It's just something that I should be aware of as well, especially playing against Khan. You see it a lot online, so that's a tough pill to swallow. The Force of Vigor was pretty nice though. Let's be honest. 10 AM from Japan, very cool. Morning streams are nice on break. That's very true. But yeah, that was an interesting game. Have you tried new Pelucanos as a Green Sun's target instead of Questing Beast? I haven't. I do think the new Pelucanos. I can't say it. Wow. Pelucanos I really like it in Loam decks. I think it's pretty sweet in Loam. Especially because you can escape it. So it is a spell that goes to the graveyard from Loam that you can still get back, which is cool. Uro seems pretty sweet as well. I do like both of those in the Loam versions a little bit more. Polychronos. Oh, it's Bob's Bread again? Okay, well at least we know what we're playing against. And this hand is fine, we'll keep this. Especially with Collector Ouphe, that's pretty nice. At least we get to get our revenge, hopefully. Hey, Hairy Crocodile, welcome to the stream. Spyglass. Spyglass is interesting. What's it going to take? It might even just name... I guess it could go after our mana and name Verdant Catacombs or Bird. It could name Night because it can search up Wasteland, or just name Wasteland. Okay. I guess because maybe the top card of the library, if it is a Wasteland, is pretty bad for them. We're going to fetch here. We're going to fetch up a Bayou. And play this bird. I think Dark Maverick playing Oko is very cool. I'm actually doing a double stream today, so I'll be back in a little while. I'll be back in like 10 hours to play Bant as well, which is cool. I think Night here is just the best play. Just get it on the board. Even though Wasteland is named, I still think it's the best threat we have. No attacks, interesting. Scrub. I kind of like just playing, this is an interesting one. So we can either go Peatland, draw a card, and play Ouphe, or play Questing Beast. If you're looking at Punishing Maverick, you could look up Mark Strassman. He's also active on the Discord, which is pretty cool. I'm going to draw a card first. Screws. Okay, not that great. Let's play Ouphe and pass. Golos is fine. We can get Karakas if we need to. But I don't think Karakas is where we want to be. Hey, Dreadnought, very cool to see you. I'm probably happy here just going for Cradle. Blast Zone is interesting. Probably a little bit too slow for Blast Zone. Let's go for Cradle. Makes Green Sun so much better. Hierarch. It's unfortunate. We really need to go after their mana pretty hard. Because next turn they kind of just have Willamog if they have it. Probably don't want to play into Aula's Dust as well. So I'm just going to pass back here, unfortunately. Khan's pretty good. Bridge is tough. We can still attack with Exalted Knight. Definitely could have used that green to actually eat Golos. Grim's fine. Doesn't really do anything. I guess they just want to get empty. I'm playing Peatland because I want the extra black source. We're only running one black Bayou and one Scrubland. We do have Birds of Paradise, which can tap for black, but I definitely like having the extra black source. I think we just try to thin our deck a little bit here. Maybe I do get Blast Zone. Attack Khan. Yeah, Zone seems pretty sweet. Two, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, we can easily Blast Zone for 3. I guess it does take out the Knights. Maybe that's not what I want to do. Maybe that's fine because then we can just actually try to get the Skoos and Questing Beast to run off for victory. We do need another Zenith, yeah. I think maybe we should have thought ahead and not played the second Knight because we knew our out was going to be Blast Zone for 3 if we don't draw Green Suns. So there's no point playing the second one because it's not really doing anything anyway. Interesting. Interesting getting Lattice because we have Collector Ouphe as well, so that's interesting. Alright, Mum's out. Thalia most likely out. Force is great. Reclamation's pretty nice. Vraska's nice. And then we just played 2 Thoughtseize. I think Thoughtseize is fine. If we can hit something early, it's pretty good. Thalia is interesting though. I think on the draw I'm happy with Thoughtseize. But you like Thalia better than Vraska? I just like Vraska because it's another out to something like Ensnaring Bridge, which is kind of nice. Maybe I'll keep in 2 Thalia instead of the Thoughtseize. We'll try this, and then if there is a third game, we can come back. The one reason why I like to take out Thalia is because we usually bring in a lot more non-creature hate. so it does tax us a little bit more post-board. But maybe keeping them off some of their, like, you know, even cost spells with soul lands is pretty nice, and just taking that extra turn to actually cast it. This hand's okay. It's a little bit fair. We could have a turn 2 knight. We could maybe not if they just chalice again. If they chalice, it's really just this, which is pretty rough. Hey, Anzi, thank you very much for the raid. Huge thank you. Were you back on Miracles? Are you playing Bant Miracles? So if they don't have a chalice, they most likely have a Thought Knot. I think they're the two hands that this deck probably keeps. So if they don't get a chalice, we get to Green Suns, but if they do have a Thought Knot, then they could take the knight. I guess they could take the swords, but really want like a Wasteland in this hand. This is a tough one. I think I can't really mulligan this. This is a hand with a lot of gas, so I'm gonna keep it. Ah, classic. Okay, well we'll keep this. Oh, fuck me. Wasteland's nice. Double swords is nice. I might put back the second swords, especially if they have a chalice. It's not the greatest, and they usually only have a few starts. Leyline, interesting. Verdant. So although we could start by playing a land, I think I just like Wastelanding here because it stops something like a turn 2 Spyglass named Wasteland. Also taking out a Cloud Post is really nice because it makes all the other Cloud Posts worse. I kind of like Dryad Arbor in hand because it can pitch to the Force of Vigor. So if they do something like Spyglass here or Chalice of an Ancient Tomb, that's fine. Interesting. I think I might just take out these two. Doing it in combat as well because I can't really do anything with the mana in combat. Cradle a little bit dead, but at least we can just pass with the land here. If they do cast a Spyglass, we definitely have to fetch in response, or else this second Verdant's going to be turned off. Okay, well, that's pretty rough. Classic that we ran into them again. It's nice to get Vengeance, though. That's always the good feeling. But hello everyone from Anzi's stream. My name is Dukes on Twitch. I run a site called the Green Sun Zenith, which is everything Magic and Maverick. I usually stream twice a week. Today I'm streaming twice in a day. So streaming this morning, which is Saturday morning, and then also tonight I'll be playing Bant Maverick. So I'll be back in 11, probably 7 hours? 8 hours. I'll be back in about 8 hours. So we'll see how we go. I'm currently 1-1. So we've played against the same person. We beat Khan Post and then we lost to Khan Post. So pretty it's always nice to run it back and learn from your mistakes. We did play the same opponent twice in a row. I think this hand is fine. The Abrupt Decay is really nice against the fair decks. The double Thalias are nice against the unfair decks. So we'll go for this and see how it goes. Hey, Art Yard, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what you play in Legacy. Collector Ouphe could be dead in this matchup, we never know. Trop Pass, interesting. I think we're just going Fetch Pass. I'm going to lead with the Windswept Heath because if I want to go for basics, I can still cast the Sword Splashes, but I don't think we will because of the Abrupt Decay. We want to go for probably 2 jewels. Could be Slowco. Mox Diamond. Okay, so this is looking like Bant Loam. Hopefully a creature. A creature would be nice because then we can go swords into Collector Ouphe, which turns off their Mox Diamond. Loam. Get back Bog. Okay. That's going to be fine. So this hand's a little bit open to Wasteland, but I think looking at our opponent's hand, I'm pretty happy just to go for Collector Ouphe here. Thalia does kind of the same thing in taxing them, but it also taxes us on Decay and Swords. So I kind of like just going for... Maybe I actually like Blast Zone into Collector Ouphe instead of playing one of the fetch lands, because now we kind of have to go for double fetch. Hey, Vintage Mountain Goat. I reckon I'll follow you on Twitch. Welcome to the stream. Let's go for Savannah and Scrubland, just so we have 2 white sources. And then play Ouphe. Wasteland's pretty good. And that was the reason why I like playing Blast Zone instead of my second land, just so I always had a white source in my turn. Okay, well that's kind of nice. But yeah, the Wasteland lock is definitely real. maybe I can get that together. Wasteland's not the worst here, because we still get to play Thalia next turn, which slows them down, and also attack for 3. Peatland, we can save that for now. I'm just gonna attack with everything. I'm not too sure of the removal in this deck. Well, Blast Zone's pretty good. We'll see if they want to tick it up or not. Interesting. Do I want to play this land? I guess I kind of want to play the Peatland because if we don't play it, we're then 2 turns behind playing Decay. I think we kind of need to play Peatland and pass. And then just hold it up as a draw spell. Okay. Yeah, Questing Beast is pretty nice with Glacial Chasm and Maze. Unfortunately. So if they just pop Blast Zone here, I think we just have to return the Thalia. But this is tough. These aren't doing too much. I guess they can tap down the Karakas in an upkeep, but then they can't activate the Blast Zone. I think they're just on the Blast Zone plan. And I don't really want to throw this away right now. Oh, they are. Interesting. This is more than fine. Beast. A little bit too slow. I guess, well, if we draw a green source next turn, we might actually just be on the path to attack with everything and swing in. Because if we swing for 5 here, they go to 5, and the next turn if we draw a green source, we can Questing Beast and Mum. I guess they could have crop rotation up. Looks like they don't. I think we just pass here. Hey, Oritart. Thanks for coming in. We're currently 1-1, going up against Cloudpost and down against Cloudpost, which is pretty interesting. I was actually surprised there for them not to use the Blast Zone, especially if they want to use their mana effectively. And also get back the Mox Diamond in their turn to actually use. Alright. They do have Wasteland as well. Unless that's the only Wasteland they have. Alright. Can we draw a green source? Maybe they're crop rotating. Decay. Okay, that changes things up a little bit. Ah, birds. Birds is interesting. I guess we can still go birds and Thalia. And pass back. There's too much text on Questing Beast. Questing Beast is very cool with Maze, because if you attack with a Questing Beast, and your opponent blocks it with, say, a 4/4 Thought-Knot Seer, and then you Maze back the Questing Beast, your Questing Beast doesn't take damage, but the Thought-Knot still takes damage, because the damage can't be prevented. Which is just absurd. Our opponent didn't loam that turn, which is interesting. So now it looks like they're back on the Blast Zone plan. Or maybe just the port plan? I hope they port this. Okay, they do. Can we draw a green source or a land? Plague Engineer. What sort of creatures do they have? Dreadnought. Haha. Dreadnought, I need you right now. You're drinking in Manhattan. What should Plague Engineer name? What do these guys play? What does Bant play? Other than like Knight of the Reliquary. I think I actually just want the extra creature. Name Elk? Zombies are interesting, but they're a little bit away from it, which is nice for us. So I think here we're just happy to go for probably Elk. We still have the Abrupt Decay for Mox Diamond, but it's kind of nice because it means Thalia can just attack into it anyway. I'm gonna go for Elk. I think zombies are a little bit too far away. They could have... They're gonna tick this up. Okay. Which isn't too bad, because if they want to play around Karakas, they have to tap out this turn. And then if we draw into an Exalted creature, we can win with Plague Engineer. Unless if they have something like Crop Rotation into X-Spell. But of course, Questing Beast would be sweet. I just want to see a Loam here. What do they do? Alright. Land. Ah! So close. Let's hold up Swords to Plowshares. So we'll play Sylvan Library. Attack, put him down to 1. I guess it turns off fetch lands, which is kind of nice. Interesting, they're trying to draw into something. If only the bird was a Hierarch. Yeah. Yeah, it's fair. Maybe if Third was a Hierarch, though, they would be playing differently because they knew that we didn't have Xaxes. Wow, and they just obviously don't think they have it. I guess the Playing Engineer is lethal by itself, so they obviously didn't have an answer to this. Interesting. Alright. Bog seems great. Force of Vigor seems pretty good, especially seeing the Mox Diamonds and Explorations. Savines is interesting. I think we can definitely take out Gaddock Teeg. We can probably go down on a Mum. Especially seeing most of their removal is probably in Blast Zone and Oko. You can Karakas opponent's Karakas if you liquid metal coating Karakas, then Elk Karakas. That's pretty funny. I might go down on a Thalia on the draw. I think Surgical's actually pretty good as well because of Loam. Maybe Faerie's actually good enough as well. Maybe I do want all pieces of graveyard. That's one more card that I want to take out. Maybe it's a Decay. Maybe it's a Swords. I think I can probably go down on a Swords. Seeing Decay answers most of their threats, even Uro. And at least the Force of Vigors also double up on removal for any sort of artifacts or enchantments. So I think going down on the Swords is fine. I think Swords is a little bit more dead in your hand than an Abrupt Decay. So we'll try this and then go ahead. Vrask is interesting as well, but I'm not too sure what I would take out for it. Especially because they're so good at hitting our mana drops. This is actually okay. I kind of like this hand. We can Green Sun straight away for a Dryad Arbor. We have enough mana in the world, which is nice. And then Blast Zone also takes care of things like Exploration. And to start with a Bog is pretty good. Pretty happy for that. Faerie Macabre is actually perfect, especially if they're trying to loam straight away. I'm just gonna probably forest into Dryad Arbor here. Playing a little bit around Wasteland just so they can't Wasteland a Jewel Land off me and only have to hit a green source. Sylvan Library. Okay. Birds. Interesting. I kind of want to keep this Green Suns around for Qasali Pridemage when I can actually activate it. So I think this turn it's just Verdant Catacombs and then play Sylvan Safekeeper and Birds of Paradise. So Faerie has a few things about it. It's not an instant or sorcery, so it can't be taken with duress. It can't be countered, which is nice, other than Stifle, which isn't usually seeing play in the decks that you want to bring it in against. It takes care of Life Gnome and Punishing Fire pretty well. You can also use it when you're tapped out, which is really nice. You can use Surgical, of course, but Faerie's pretty sweet. You can also get it back. You can find it with things like Recruiter of the Guard if you're playing Death and Taxes, which is cool. Reanimate is the big one because it also plays around Chancellor of the Annex, which is you can reveal it at the beginning of your game, and your opponent has to pay an extra 1 for the first card they play for turn. But yeah, Faerie definitely has a few good draws to it. Yeah, you can also get it with Once Upon a Time, which is very cool. Tabernacle's pretty annoying. Tabernacle's really annoying. I hate Tabernacle triggers because they take so long to do. Over a course of a game online, they can take at least 2 minutes off your timer. Cradle's quite good against Tabernacle though, so... Oh, Knight. Sadly can't cast it, but that's going to be fine. Probably want a 5 just in case they have something like Crop Rotation and then have some sort of effect. Obviously not. What does that legendary land do? Tabernacle gives all creatures the ability of, at the beginning of your upkeep, destroy this creature unless you pay 1. So one reason it's played in these sort of decks is that because Marriott Lage, their 2020, is a legendary indestructible creature, so you don't actually have to pay for it, which is kind of nice because it can't be destroyed. But it's just really good against creature decks because it makes me really use up a lot of my resources just to pay for themselves. It really slows me down. It's a very expensive card in paper as well. Yeah, it's really good. It's worded weirdly as well because the trigger is actually on my creatures, so it's my ability to uphold. So I believe they've changed it, but it used to be... that you used to get caught out by not upholding your own Tabernacle triggers, even though it's your opponent's card. Which is pretty brutal. I think this is fine, even though they're getting the lands back, just to take this out and the crop. This is tough, because I kind of want to land the Knight, so I need 2 mana, 3 mana. I guess we have a land drop, so I can pay for 2. I think we just drop the Dryad Arbor here, especially seeing they have Wasteland. So float 2, and then we'll keep the Sylvan Safekeeper around. We'll keep the bird around, and then we won't keep the Dryad Arbor around. Yeah, it's kind of the... I would say it's probably the same cost as everything else in lands. You have everything in lands, and then you have Tabernacle, and they kind of cost the same. I mean, Mox Diamonds are quite expensive now, and you play a few jewels as well, so it definitely adds up, but... yeah, pretty crazy. Yeah, Mox Diamonds used to be very cheap. Unfortunately, I didn't pick them up and they're very cheap. Wasteland's fine. They could go after the Scrubland because it is one land that we can actually drop, so I'm just going to use it straight away on this Knight. Just to give it Shroud. Can't be Abrupt Decay, which is nice. So here I'm happy just to pay for everything. And then hold up Wasteland. A land would be nice. Surgical. Surgicaling Wasteland's actually pretty interesting. I'm going to pass. I'm actually going to attack with Sylvan Safekeeper and then pass. I'm going to Surgical at the end of draw step, just in case they kept the Wasteland with Sylvan Library. It's a card I don't really care about right now because of my mana base. But at the same time, I really want to make sure... Okay, they had 2 in hand. Wow, okay. So that's a great reason to do it at the end of draw step, because they might have actually drawn these off Let's see what they have as well. 3 Abrupt Decays, 3 Okos, 2 Tireless Tracker. Wow, they're just going to concede the game. Okay. What was their hand? Can we see it still? Yeah, pretty rough. Wow. Alright, I guess we'll take it. But, yeah, pretty rough for my opponent. To be fair, my opponent kind of, they had the Tabernacle, but they didn't have too much else. They did have the Loam. We took care of the first one, but they had another one in hand, so... Do you have a Gideon in sideboard? I don't have a Gideon. I'm definitely a big fan of Gideon, ally of Zendikar. I think it's a pretty good card in Maverick. I'm playing with Vraska right now, just because I'm playing the Black Splash. But a lot of players are actually playing the Gideon in the main deck of Green-White Maverick, and it seems to be performing pretty well. It's a pretty great card against Oko as well, because it's not a creature on their turn. Hey, Noel Briggs, thanks for the sub. Not sure why that where my emote went. Interesting. This hand is great. I kind of want a Green Suns for Dryad Arbor, but that's fine. We'll keep this. Dryad Arbor is a little bit meh. Misty. I kind of like going for just a Plains here, and then Mother of Runes. And then turn 2 we can hopefully land Thalia. Now my opponent's avatar is Oko, so I'm a little bit on the edge that I think this might be an Oko player, but we'll see. One nice thing about Hex Drinker is that if it gets Oko'd, it keeps the counters that it has. So if you level it up, maybe not. Interesting. So something like Scavenging Ooze with +1/+1 counters on it, it keeps the +1/+1 counters and is an Elk. Oof, Inkmoth. Okay, this is pretty rough. I guess Thalia is okay, but let's just hope they don't have the days. Yeah, it's level counters, not +1/+1, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. That's rough. They have the days, alright. I'm going to attack here, because if they use like a free spell here, I'm pretty happy, but otherwise it's not doing a whole lot. This seems like we're pretty much dead. This matchup is pretty fun. It can be very heavily based on if you have something like Plague Engineer or Swords to Plowshare straight up, but obviously they just have it here. Pretty rough. Sideboarding is always interesting. Skoos I don't mind taking out. Collector Ouphe I don't mind taking out. Gaddock Teeg stops Force and Become Immense. I'm pretty happy for that to come out. I think it's going to hurt us a lot more. I don't mind the Veils and the Thought Seizers on the play. Choke's interesting, but I don't know if it's where we want to be. Beast is probably a little bit too slow here as well. Hexstring is interesting because it is a really nice blocker for Blighted Agent. It means they have to kind of pump it to be able to get through it. Also stops Invigorate. I think Invigorate is a 3-drop. Yeah. I do like Sylvan Libraries because you can be very aggressive with them. Green Suns is an interesting one. I think I can take out Green Suns because I'm not really looking for anything. And I think Questing Beast might just be a little bit too high. I think this is pretty good. Force of Vigor is interesting as well. Especially if they play Sylvan Library as well. It's another pretty good hit. Maybe I don't care about the Veils. I guess the Veils are nice. Maybe this is where I want to be. I don't mind this. Safekeeper is interesting. Maybe I don't need the Safekeeper, and I can play one more card. Vraska's cool. I feel like if we land Vraska, we're winning the game anyway. But maybe it's okay just because it can hit. It is only a one-of as well, so... Yeah, Oko is definitely something I want to be wary of. This is fine. We'll go for it. And hopefully if there's a game 3, we can see how we want to board better. Especially if we see more of their deck. This end is great. Pretty happy with this, especially with the Scryb and birds. We also have access to Sword and Wasteland, so pretty good. I'm just going to get a Savannah off this Windswept Heath. Bird is the word today. One card I have to look out for is crop rotation. Infect usually run like 1 or 2 in the deck, so playing around that seems pretty good. Interesting. Sylvan Library is really nice. I could play the Scryb Ranger for free and then play Sylvan Library, but it doesn't play... This is actually a pretty interesting one. So Scryb Ranger is free because we can pay for it and then untap the bird, return this, play it as well, and then play Sylvan Library. Doesn't play around Spell Pierce or Daze. Neither does the Scryb Ranger, doesn't play around Daze. Tireless Tracker is kind of cool because from then on we can get some stuff. The issue with wastelanding the land is if they have crop rotation, then they can just crop it away for another land. So I kind of want to keep the wasteland until I know it can't be hit. So I think Sylvan Library is just a play here. Playing around Daze, not playing around Spell Pierce, and then hopefully just drawing 8 next turn. Brainstorm's okay. I don't want to wasteland in response to Brainstorm either, because then they can just Daze the Sylvan Library. Interesting, it's going to come down. Well then. I think because we have multiple answers to Inkmoth Nexus, I'd rather go after their mana right now. So I'm pretty happy actually wastelanding while they're tapped out. Because we're just so far ahead right now, we have 2 sources of mana and also Sylvan Library, which represents 3 more cards. DN Solver, you're on it. Just gonna 6 here. Elf, okay. Another Wasteland's pretty nice. I wonder if I want to go Scryb Ranger and then Swords. Hey, McGrabber and Chunk Buckle, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? What's the downside of Waste before Library? Crop rotation. That was the big thing we're trying to play around. I think I'm happy to go for swords here. Let's go. I'm gonna go Scryb. Untap this, return this. Play Waste. Wasteland now. And now we can swords. Okay. You're from Toronto? Very cool. I'm coming to Canada for 3 weeks in October, November. So hopefully get to come in and see some game stores. Hopefully face-to-face also have some tournaments on. That'd be pretty cool. But thank you very much. Now we'll see what happens with Library. I'm gonna put this on top, and I'm gonna pay for this. Play Savannah. I don't mind play Qasali, but I could also just Green Suns for another Mana Dork. I think that's actually pretty nice. Probably Noble Hierarch, and then start attacking for 2. Hey, Burning Mage, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? From Boston, very cool. Nice, yeah, Jordan's a very good writer, and a very good player as well, so I can definitely understand that he's a judge as well. But that's sweet, good to hear the Boston scene has a good Legacy scene as well. So they can't daze this because we have the bird to untap. I'd love them to try to daze it, but Spell Pierce is going to be fine. We can't really play around that. From Toronto as well, very cool. Play Miracles in Shadow. Nice. The one issue that I do have right now is that I don't have a great answer to Blighted Agent. It looks like they're just passing, which is interesting. Okay. Put on top, put on top. Land for turn. Pridemage. Oh. Bird. Interesting. Miracles can be pretty tough in the main board, unless you have something like an early Sylvan Library or like a Planeswalker. It can be pretty tough to try to play around. No crop rotation there was really nice. Brainstorm, okay. Bald dude with a beard. Hey, at least you're repping a beard. I'm sure the beard gets comes in handy as well in Canada. Oof, cold coffee, not the greatest. Infect's always pretty scary. I find the black version definitely has an upside because Plague Engineer on human takes care of Noble Hierarch and Blighted Agent, and then you just have to deal with Glistener Elf and Inkmoth Nexus. Apologies. Which are probably two of the easiest for us to deal with, actually. This is pretty interesting. I think I want to deal with this, actually. But I don't think I want to return a land here. Pretty apt to untap. We see Tree Forest on top and an extra card. What's the extra card? Nice, a shuffle effect. That's great. It's also a double land for Tracker, which is great. So let's go... Tracker. Resolves, okay. Get that clue. Fetch straight away. Maybe I should have drawn a card first in case we draw into just like a Noble Hierarch. I could at least cast it and get an extra damage in. Attack for 3, and then we can take out the Sylvan Library. But we'll see what we draw first off one of these clues. Knight. Okay, so Knight's pretty nice because it is an answer to Inkmoth. So let's untap and return the Savannah. And then just deal with this right now. Alright. It's funny as well because this Hierarch is pretty close to lethal as well by itself. Just passing, okay. That's pretty good for us. One thing that's tough for my opponent as well is knowing when to force a Swords to Plowshares or use their Protector spell. Because if we also have Abrupt Decay, if they use their Protection spell, we can then of course Abrupt Decay in response, or after if they're giving protection from white, and the force won't do anything. But if they force the Swords, then the Protection spell is going to actually, you know, fizzle the Abrupt Decay, which is pretty cool. Noble Distortion Strike. If they play Distortion Strike in Legacy, I will take that loss with a handshake. Hey DK, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Opponent having a good think, or maybe having some issues with connection. I always know my opponent's taking it pretty slow when my opponent is taking a bit more time than me when I'm streaming. Unless they're streaming as well. Definitely takes a lot out of the clock. You have to take a little bit more notice of it. Alright. I guess like Plague Engineer would be kind of cool off the top. Thoughtseize is pretty good as well. Does put us down to 2. Yeah, that's fair enough. It can be pretty tough. I actually caught your stream the other day. It was really good. Basic Swamps is another streamer who played Maverick, which is very sweet. So definitely check out Basic Swamps if you're after some more Maverick content. Put on top. I'm going to keep the Wasteland there. So let's go for Thoughtseize first. Wow, they're just going to concede. Interesting. Maybe they had a card that we don't want to, that they don't want us to know about. Well, you piloted it, so. I think Vraskit can probably come out on the draw. I think it's just a little bit too slow. Veil's interesting because it can be really good in the counter matchups, but I don't think I want it on the draw if I didn't bring it in on the play. Gotta hide that Distortion Strike. I really hope they don't have it. I guess they also know now that we also play Thoughtseize, so that's a little bit interesting. I wonder if that makes them bring in Veil. I still think we can Thoughtseize around Veil. I think that's going to be fine. So we do need one more card. Maybe it is a Veil. Just in case. I do like having a Veil in the deck, just so we can try to get something through uncounterable. It does also cycle pretty much every turn, which is kind of nice. But maybe it's just a little bit off. This is actually pretty interesting. Reclamation's interesting because it allows us to get back Qasali Pridemage or Sylvan Library, which are two big cards, and I kind of see the post-board matches going a lot longer than the combo first match. I don't mind Veil. No, I don't like Veil because I'm sure they have a lot of, they can just counter our spells by fizzling them with protection. Choke's an interesting one that I was thinking of. Maybe we will try one Choke. Probably better on the play, but our opponent didn't see it in game 2, so maybe they're more likely just to play around anything. This sadly isn't a keep. We could draw into the double fetch kind of start, but this is a hand that really loses it to itself, so I'm pretty happy to mulligan this. This is a lot better, especially if we go Bayou into Dryad Arbor. We can then cast Thalia or Plague Engineer turn 2. So I'm happy to keep this. Probably drop a second Thalia. Okay, Noble's not too bad. They're down to 4 cards as well, so they did mulligan once. You clearly have never had an opponent scoop to Wasteland. This actually is a lot better because now we can just keep this Green Suns around. So we'll still go for Bayou. Now the big question is, next turn, do we play it safe and play Thalia, or do we play Plague Engineer? And I think if they play a Blighted Agent, it's a little bit harder. Yeah, it's always interesting to see how an Infect player uses their Wasteland. Because they can use it defensively on some of our Wastelands before they try to go off. Or they can try to target our mana, but it looks like it's just going to be a passing of the turn. I guess a Wasteland would also be a pretty good draw, but it looks like they're going to cast another Hierarch. Okay. Well, that makes me really want to play this Plague Engineer. Just go for it. Ooh, Brainstorm, okay. Wow. Hopefully they just don't have the nuts here, but this is going to be pretty tough for my opponent. Having the bird as well as a blocker is really nice. So next time we can go Thalia and bird. This is kind of scary. No pump? Surely a pump. Ugh. Wow, they just had it. Nuts. Rough, maybe we should have played it differently. I just thought that taking out the Hierarchs was the best play because then it takes them off their mana as well. Rough. Rough, but good game. Rough. I think because we have so many outs to Blinkmoth that I really wanted to take them off their mana. Especially because if they don't have Invigorate and Berserk, then we do have a few more outs to Inkmoth. We'll definitely keep this. Great hand. Monkey Scant Cry. Monkeys can't cry. He's on Doomsday? Okay. Please don't Ritual. Oh, Duress is actually fine. Can't take Thalia, which is pretty nice. Alright. Do they play Force? They... Well, it looks like they don't. It does look a little bit like the Dark Ritual Avatar, that's very true. Astrolabe, interesting. I don't believe Doomsday plays main deck ways to get rid of Thalia, so I think I'm happy just attacking with both creatures and keeping the clock a little bit faster. They have Teferi? Okay. That's good to know. Like Chain of Vapor would be pretty rough. Oh, they're gonna Ritual through. Doomsday, okay. Maybe they feel that they just have the clock. So maybe I actually want to fetch out Dryad Arbor in my end step. This play will definitely stack correctly. It's just a case if I can try to maybe draw into Questing Beast. That's probably the best, literally the best card I can draw. Even Questing Beast and Wasteland. Just to try them slow them down a little bit. Very cool to see Doomsday back though. We played against it, I'm going to say twice on the last stream. So it definitely is a pretty popular deck right now, especially with Oracle. It's such a clean way to win. It was pretty funny. We got memed out. Our opponent had the Doomsday stack of Pluto Delta, Island, Flooded Strand, Island, Thassa's Oracle, because they just knew we couldn't beat them. They just knew we didn't have the clock to beat them, and there was no way that we could actually interact with their deck, which is pretty rough. Pretty rough. Going down to 7, interesting. That's right, that's actually part of Doomsday. Let's... Alright. Come on, Questing Beast, one time. Even Green Suns does it. Hiya! Okay. Put on top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, Thalia, rough. I guess we might as well keep it. Yeah, I can try to take them off at least. I guess we can go for Collector Ouphe and then take them off the silent clearing. Hopefully this at least gives us some time. And then attack. It doesn't change the clock if we just attack with Thalia and keep back, but I don't think they can really interact with only drawing one card and then have 2 mana. I think this is fine to attack with both. Interesting. Rough. Yeah. Nice. Thoughtseize, definitely. Surgical Veil. Yeah, I think our only win was going, trying to get... Maybe, I think Cradle and Green Suns was our only out, because then we can actually cast Green Suns for 4 to get Questing Beast. Let's take out Swords. I think Beast is still okay. Engineers can most likely come out. Track is probably a little bit too slow. Yeah, sadly, because Karakas either returns the Thalia or pays the 1 mana you need for Thalia. So it really does the same thing, sadly. Maybe Force. Force is interesting. I kind of want to see a list. Legacy. Hexdrink is probably a little bit too slow as well. I think this is fine. See how this goes. I don't think Bojuka Bog comes into play at all. I don't think we need Bojuka Bog. Hopefully just beat down fast enough. It's really our out. Sand is pretty slow. It has the Force of Vigor, but we're playing turn 1 Mum, turn 2 we can Cradle for 2. It's pretty mediocre. I'm gonna mulligan this. Sand's a lot better. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna bottom the second Mum. And now I will... So if they have a hand disruption spell, they most likely take care of Green Sun Zenith. I might Green Suns here because then next turn we can Thoughtseize and Veil. And it also means that we can't just get stuck on one land. So I'm going to get Bayou. And then Green Suns for Dryad Arbor. Because then at least we can still cast a Scooze turn 2. Scary deck to play against, though. We went down to Infect, which is pretty tough. And then we got up against lands, I'm going to say, like a bug lands deck. Rough. I guess Surgical's pretty funny because we can force our opponent to shuffle. Ah, it exiles it all. Interesting. So I think we'll go Thoughtseize first. Or do we just go for Collector Ouphe? I'd probably rather some sort of pressure. They probably have some number of Lotus Petal and maybe LED. So maybe I just go for Ouphe this turn. Tough though. I guess they could have Force in hand as well, which kind of sucks because we have the Veil but can't cast it. Yeah, I think at least Ouphe is a way to win the game, and it also is maybe a way that gives us a way to not lose the game, but if they're cycling this fast, it's it's pretty rough. Wow. Nice. Rough. I don't know if there's a way that we can... If there's a better card to play against Doomsday. We don't really have a hell of a lot to bring in against it. Yeah, they probably don't. I think really it's just my knowledge of the matchup isn't great as well. Prelate's pretty good. Maybe Prelate could be played... I guess if people are going to be playing out combo, then maybe the Plank Engineers can move to the board and Prelate can come into the main deck. I definitely don't mind Prelate main deck. Especially against Miracles, it's a lot better in game 1. But that's tough. Yeah, Deafening Silence is a big card as well. And I think that maybe Thoughtseize just isn't as great as it used to be. Maybe something like Deafening Silence is just better because it does slow down your opponent enough for you to actually do more. I don't know if Surgical actually does anything, unless they draw a card they put back that they didn't want to draw in the right sequence, but I think because they also have 5 cards in hand, it's pretty rough. Yeah, I think it's I think Achilles is definitely onto something, and I think a lot of Maverick players are with changing up what type of removal they have. So instead of playing something like 4 Chalice, playing 2 Chalice, playing 2 Prelate, playing 2 Deafening Silence, and just making sure that you can, you know, attack from multiple angles, but also have disruption that allows you to buy some time to go wide with creatures that also disrupt, but also apply pressure. So it's kind of finding that that medium mix, which is good. I mean, maybe like right now, maybe Sevinne's Reclamation just isn't really where we want to be. It is a great card. It's a 3-for-1 in most cases, but against the decks we're playing against, not many care about this. Like, at first glance, I was like, okay, cool, this is great against Miracles, but Miracles most likely exiles your permanents or puts them to the bottom of your library, so it's not that great. It's really against things like Delver, but on the play, Thoughtseize seems pretty good, but maybe Deafening Silence is just a little bit better. Deafening Silence also just makes Dark Ritual a really bad card, which is great. So being able to hit like their fast starts of Dark Ritual is really good. It's also nice because we don't have too many ways to interact on turn 1, so having a 1-drop in Deafening Silence is really nice. Yeah, that's very true. And I think making sure that we can at least slow down our opponent to not win on turn 1 to 3, and then start playing creatures to attack with, then we're going to be pretty happy. But yeah, like Deafening Silence there would have been superb, but you know, Doomsday is pretty hard to deal with a deck without Force of Will, so that's always a pretty big tough spot. So I think you really have to be a deck that can either play Force of Will or beat the cards that usually don't fall to Force of Will. It's kind of a case, it's kind of like Brainstorm. So I think Legacy's always been about playing a Brainstorm deck or playing a deck that can disrupt Brainstorm decks. If you're playing in between, you're kind of in a soft spot. And I think it's a lot like these combo decks where you have to either play a deck that's going to disrupt your opponent with Chalices and other cards, or you're playing a deck with Force of Will and Daze to kind of have some sort of permission to see what you can actually do. But that is me. I am back in 12:30. I'm back in 7 hours, and I'm going to stream Bant Miracles and see how that goes. I'm going to try and get on Dreadhorde as well to go through the deck, which would be pretty sweet, but we'll see how it goes. A huge thank you to everyone who came in and followed. We do have a goal, so every follow counts, so I appreciate every single one of you. A huge thank you to those who came in and watched, of course. Sadly, a 2-3 isn't really where I want to be, but there were some close matches there, and they were pretty good, so I can't really complain. If you do want to find any of my videos, you can of course find them at my YouTube channel at youtube.com/c/DugsOnTwitch. If you want to reach out to me, I am on Twitter at twitter/DugsOnTwitch. And then also there of course is the greensunzenith.com, which is pretty sweet. TK Tech, you are welcome as always. I'm sorry I couldn't get the performance that we wanted tonight, or this morning of course, but we'll get there one day. A huge thank you. I'm going to send you guys over to someone else that is playing Legacy. Let's quickly find someone. Snoko 5-0 would be sweet. Snoko 5-0 would be very good. I'll be right back. Sneaky. K-Bounce, Pioneer, Wyatt. Hey, Null Bricks, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? I'm going to send you guys over to Squad Chief. He's always been pretty good for this stream, so I'm going to send some people back there. Huge thank you. Enjoy your weekends. If I don't see you tonight, stay safe, be healthy, be happy, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers. I can't raid? Why not? Well, I can't raid. You play Painter Elves? Very cool. Elves is pretty tough for me, but Painter's always a pretty fun matchup, so that's pretty sweet. That's really annoying. I thought I could at least try to raid someone. There we go. Alright, cheers guys. Thank you very much.